Hey, what's up guys, Darkbreaker here, and let's react to the wildrift patch 3.2a notes. And I'm kinda speechless because I've seen what they did to my lovely girl Camille, and I can't I don't know what to say anymore. They destroyed her. It's like they took the hammer and it's not like a slight Nerf hammer. They're like, bum bum bum, fuck you come here, you're too good. And they just shit on her. What can I say? Okay, anyways, let's get started with the balance changes. First champion buffs. Alistar is getting a buff. So what did they do? They increased the healing on his passive. They also increased the healing for the allies. Oh, the cooldown is increased though to 10 seconds. So they did buff the healing, but they also nerfed at the same time the cooldown of the passive. And then for the second ability, they lowered the cooldown. Honestly, I feel like Alistar is in a state where he is pretty strong. Like he doesn't need any buffs. Like I would nerf him. And I don't feel like this is necessarily a buff per se. It feels like more like a rebalancing and not a buff. So I think he's staying the same basically with these changes, making his early game slightly weaker and his late game a little bit better. I mean, it's just 0.5 seconds. It's like whatever. 0.5 seconds cooldown on the second ability. It doesn't matter, honestly. Okay, next one. Echo is receiving a huge buff. The first bit, no. Adjustments, base HP, armor, and mana. So they are buffing his base stats, and that's huge. Whenever Riot decides to buff the base stats, that's pretty significant. And HP and armor, making him a little bit less squishy than he already is. Now the next change is they increase the damage onto monsters with the first ability by 30%. So that's a big damage buff, and it's gonna make his jungle clear much better. So I like this change, which, I mean, honestly, I feel like Echo doesn't need any buffs. I feel like a lot of people are crying that he doesn't feel OP, he doesn't feel super broken. In my opinion, he is in a really strong state and he doesn't need any changes. Like, obviously he's very squishy, but that's like high reward and like high risk, high reward. Like, you play aggressive, you can jump in, you can one-shot people, and you're very squishy at the same time. Sorry. I probably cut this one out. Next one. For you guys wondering why? Because the pollen's outside are going crazy today. Parallel convergence, passive base, missing health damage getting increased. So, what is it? Your auto attacks are gonna do more damage, right, when the opponent are low life. So that's also getting increased scaling. And then also in the third ability, they buffed the scaling by 10%. I I honestly think you go Death Cap Rush on Echo Jungle now. Just from the scalings you're getting. It's similar to Evelyn. Like, Evelyn's also assassin, squishy, one-shotter. Echo's literally the same. Just got Death Cap, Lich Bane, maybe Infinity Orb to have a little bit more HP. And then also Void Staff. And I think Infinity Orb has great synergy with the second ability, the passive as well. Next one is gonna be Fiora. Fiora is getting a buff, 40 base HP and 10 base damage at every single rank on the first ability. I honestly think, yeah, sure, it's a slight buff for the early game, especially on Fiora, making an early game a little bit better, but it doesn't matter. Like, the change on the range of the first ability was way too big. I feel like they could give her, like, they nerfed the range by 1 in total, right? Like the search range and the other range, whatever the name is. So it's 1 meters in total. I feel like if they did 0.5 in total, that would nerf her enough so she isn't as oppressive, but makes her a little bit better in teamfight. Because right now I don't feel like she is that good. She's fine into some matchups, she's fine into some comms. She's definitely playable, but she is not good. Next one is gonna be Nunu. The first ability cooldown is getting reduced by 1 second. I actually like this change because his jungle clear will be better and 1 second is not too much. He's in a state where the big buffs are taking forever for him to kill just because of the first ability and the HP buff. So I really like this change. Next one is gonna be Renekton. Renekton is getting base HP regeneration buff by 1.5. This is pretty nice. And then also the ultimate damage is getting increased at every single rank. I think it makes sense because Renekton isn't as isn't as strong in comparison to a lot of Sunra champions that just beat him up. And you can't go for the Blade of the Rune King Black Cleaver build anymore. You kinda need to build more tanky Black Cleaver Death Dance instead. So I like this change. I think it's not gonna make him too strong, but make him pretty solid. Next one is gonna be Vega. Vega first ability cooldown is getting reduced by 1 second at each rank, which is pretty good actually. This is pretty significant. And then also the event horizon crowd control is getting increased by 0.25 in the early game, or 0.25 every rank. Okay, never mind. Now, nerfs. Okay, guys, let me explain. First ability, the true damage ratio is getting nerfed at every single rank. So you're starting with 40% true damage. Like, for example, you would normally do 100 true damage at level 1. Right? Now you are only doing 40 damage level 1 instead. And I don't know at what ranks, but basically at certain levels you're getting more percentage damage back. So at probably max level you're gonna get 100% to the it's similar to PC. Like PC, they did a very similar thing that the more levels she has, the more scaling she's getting, or the more damage her true damage part will do. So at a certain level, she will do 100% damage again. But in the early game, she is much weaker damage wise. This is a big nerf. Next one. The movement speed is getting reduced by 10% at each rank for Camille's first ability. That's a big movement speed nerf. And then for the ultimate, they lowered the duration of the ultimate by 1 second in the late game. This is another nerf onto the ultimate. Like the ultimate duration used to be so long. Like this is the second time they're nerfing the duration. Gregor's ultimate travel speed duration is getting nerfed. Instead of 6 frames, 8 frames. So it takes a little bit longer for him to cast his ultimate, or for the ultimate to travel. So you have more reaction time against the ultimate now. Grace, first ability damage onto monsters getting nerfed by 30%. Makes sense. He's becoming really popular in the jungle right now, both in solo queue and pro play. It used to be 100%. They buffed it to 150 and now they're nerfing it to 120. I think it's more than fine. He's still gonna be strong and it's not gonna hurt him too much. Next one is gonna be Aurelia. Aurelia's passive damage to monsters getting nerfed by 50%. So they want to nerf Aurelia out of the jungle because she has been really popular in the jungle, being one of the top picks in the jungle, both in solo queue, high elo, and in competitive. Because you can play a Baron lane, mid lane, and jungle. So she's a very flexible pick and super good in the draft. So I can see why they wanna nerf Aurelia jungle, because she's supposed to be a laner, not a jungler. It's just because wildrift is easier, or it's easy to jungle on a lot of champions that wouldn't be able to jungle in PC, for example. Next one is gonna be Olaf. They are nerfing the base damage of the first ability and the slow effect. Honestly, it doesn't matter because people are maxing third, like I max third ability and then I max second ability. I don't even care about the first ability. It's just basically for extra slow. I know some people like to max first ability second, but I'm not a fan of it. Third ability true damage is busted. People, if you guys are coming from PC, then yeah, sure, first ability is better. But people that know how Olaf is in wildrift, third ability is broken, so it does. Honestly, this is hurting him a little bit, but in the end, it doesn't matter at all. Next one is going to be Ziggs. The Mindfield cooldown is getting increased by 2 seconds. That's a nice nerf on him. And then also the duration is getting nerfed by 2 seconds. So that's a big nerf onto the third ability of Ziggs. He received a lot of nerfs recently, but I think he's still going to be S tier. Next one, adjustments. Iceborne Gauntlet is getting changed. Instead of giving you 450 mana, you only get 250 mana now, but at the same time, HP wise, you're getting 250 HP now. This is really amazing because usually armor items you want some HP, and Iceborne Gauntlet didn't provide you with any HP before. Now you have mana HP, and now the banger is the Spellblade bonus damage. Instead of scaling only with 100% attack damage, you also get plus 25% bonus armor. So that's a lot of extra damage when you're playing champions like Ramos, Malphite, maybe Gragas, Galio, or any other tanks that benefit from stacking a lot of armor. So I think this is gonna make Malphite a lot better and giving him a lot of extra bonus damage. But they're also increasing the gold at the same time by 400. But this will make Iceborne. What? Write on below in the comments what you guys think about Iceborne Gauntlet. Do you guys want me to make a Malphite Iceborne Gauntlet video, or maybe Gragas or Ramos with Iceborne Gauntlet? Because stacking armor on Ramos and Malphite gives you already more damage on the second ability of Ramos and on the third ability of Malphite, and now your auto attacks will do more damage, and in combination with the second ability of Malphite, you will do even more damage. So, and stacking armor is really good against Thunderer, because Thunderer is physical damage in the end. So this might make Malphite a lot better than before. So, next change is going to be Frozen Heart. They are buffing the ability haste by 5, so 5 more ability haste, and they are lowering the cost by 150, making it much better for Malphite as well. Another good item for Malphite. Who else is buying Frozen Heart? I guess some tanks can buy it whenever they need attack speed reduction, but usually I rather go Runwing's Omen, because it also reduces crit damage. But I can definitely see it being pretty good on Gragas or maybe Malphite. Next one, Nimbus Cloak. Is that? Oh, runes. That's rune, right? The Summoner Spell rune. You're getting more movement speed when you're using a big Summoner Spell. And next change. They are nerfing Conqueror. So instead of 10% bonus damage, you are only getting 8% when you are melee champion, and for range champion a 1% nerf. I still think Conqueror is the best rune on a lot of AD based champions, not necessarily on marksmans or ADCs, because they can run lethal tempo, but on a lot of AD champions like bruisers or assassins, Conqueror is still the best. But yeah, that's about it for the patch 3.2a preview. This is the summary for the balance changes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like, subscribe for more content that's coming out with 3.2a, and write down below what changes you like the most. And yeah, they fucking killed Camille, feats Batman. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I see you next time. Bye bye.
Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.